Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and a warm welcome to this week's Walking Wednesday. Except, much like the Ring of Sauron when Gandalf picked it up from the fire, it's quite cool. I officially open with the nerdiest thing I possibly could think of. So we're on a good start, aren't we? Yeah, but honestly, this week I do have something to actually report for the people interested in my university stuff, because I actually checked my emails, and it seems that they actually updated. Instead of looking on Canvas directly, I found the links to the grades and such that I was looking for on the emails. So it was there. Well, I mean, I guess not really. The grades themselves aren't, which is what I've been waiting for. But at the very least, I found some feedback for my stuff, which varied from positive and constructive, and on two accounts, to the equivalent of a bad critical review on another. Not to say that it wasn't constructive as well, but I don't know. Just seemed like my tutor didn't really like my poetry, which is fair enough, because I mean I only submitted 2 poems out of a possible I don't know how many, but it was the ones that I felt the most confident with, so I guess it was the best as it could have turned out, in a way. While sticking to the word count. Well, no, the line count. Sorry, yeah, it was a line count that we had. I don't remember I mentioned this or not, but there was a maximum line count of 75 that you could submit across the entirety of the poems. And one poem I did had 8 lines, the one at 64, making a total of 72. So I could have added 3 extra lines, but I don't know. There wasn't really anything else that I wanted to add in particular, and I think the minimum was something like 55, so I was well over that anyway. So yeah, I just submitted what I was most confident with. Oh well, you live and learn. As for the other 2, seems that I was worrying about Momotaro for no reason, because even though it never ended up getting agreed upon, it was still a nice change, because I wouldn't do that, because I had researched Ventral Chen as far as I could, but it just wasn't clicking for me anymore. So there you go. And that's saying a lot, because I rarely drop a project. I mean, you all know me if you've watched my channel for years. I beat a dead horse to the ground. So so that's saying something as far as how uninspired I was for that one. Oh well, speaking of projects, I actually have made some steady progress in terms of the Mutant Girl. I've been using a PC emulator, because Gacha Club doesn't come out on PC for another 2 days. I know I said I was going to work on my phone, but that would require a whole different recording software, which is watermarked as well. I don't have the resources for that, so I stuck to what I knew. And apart from the mouth movements being very slow in places, which is annoying, I've made some steady progress, so I'm confident with that. So yeah, my aim is to get it out before Gacha Club comes out on PC, so before July the 10th. So potentially I'll be working on it for the rest of the day today, when I get back home, and then I will think about other things. Because actually, that's another subject. The beating of dead horses. I just realised that I'm on the street that I'm supposed to end up on. I've only been going for 3 minutes, so I'm going to turn around. Yeah. In terms of dead horse beatings, I'm thinking that because of the way that I missed. Sorry, I'll start again. I missed a course meeting on for this thing that I signed up for, because I got some emails from a guy called Kong, and there's some details about how to grow your channel best and whatnot, and I missed the attendance for that. But to be honest, I'm almost glad that I missed that one, because even if my channel had been chosen, I know exactly what he would say. He would say that I don't have a strong enough branding to go forward, which is fair enough. Again, I've talked about this before, the fact that, again, I'm not able to drop any subject. I beat dead horses. So That's going to be taken out of context in the future. Yeah, put that in your meme chronicles, Mimi. But yeah, in terms of beating figurative horses that are dead, I think that it would be best, because I won't be happy until those projects are finished, if I concentrate somewhat now in actually getting up to speed with those. Because with Tales of Seneca North, I managed to edit that video in a night. Obviously, the other examples are me doing editing videos overnight, like Pixel 1 Jonathan's Adventure, for example. That's a good one that I can finish up. But yeah, not to mention those ones. Maybe not the role plays as such, because I've got plans for those. But things like Mario 63, for example. I was going to turn July into Mario month, actually. But I know, July the 1st came and I was still focusing on Gacha Club. So that never came true. Although it would be nice to have ended in July 26th like Mario 63 did originally, Season 1 did. But it was not to be. But I do want to end that, obviously. I guess if I just record all of those en masse or something, eventually I'll get through them. I think that's probably the best idea that I could do. And from then onwards, I can focus on a stronger material like the AFMAL content, the gacha stuff, the music every so often that people like. People like when you sprinkle music in between, unless you're a music channel, in which case you're kind of expected to do that the whole time. So I think that might be a better thing to do, because obviously I'm getting more and more into gacha every day. And I went through the effort of emulating a game that hasn't even come out yet on my chosen device, just to be ahead of the curve. So I wonder. I think that will be the best option. If I go ahead and finish those. I mean, it might take a while. Obviously, also the retro reconstructions. Now I think about it, those two need completion. Need completing. Sorry. So, yeah, that's something as well, because I started recording another Pixelmon episode with Aiden, because Aiden and Mimi decided to do their own Pixelmon series, which is fair enough, but then they also invited me over to it. I'm not going to upload any videos of that Pixelmon series until I finish Pixelmon Jonathan's Adventure. I feel like one Pixelmon series per time is a good average. So yeah. See if I can get back into those, because I'll have to dig through the archives. And also, I've sent Aiden the next gacha review to do, the Taming the Bad Boy one. So maybe that will come out soon as well. I still have no feedback on episode 6 from Lizzie, which I'm seeing now is partly due to the fact that she's disabled DMs on Discord for a few days because of the Blue Whale Challenge. Yeah, if you've been on Discord recently, or you're a gacha tuber, or both, you've probably heard of the Blue Whale Challenge. So, to anyone who doesn't know what the Blue Whale Challenge is, let's just give you the rundown now to so that you know. Bear in mind, this is a very sensitive topic in general. It's just the way that it's laid out. I mean, it's very easily avoidable, but we'll see. So basically, how to deal with the Blue Whale Challenge. The Blue Whale Challenge consists of people going around in DMs, apparently using Mickey Mouse profile pictures, but not Mickey Mouse himself. Mickey Mouse, almost like a face paint version of that on a person, sort of like a cosplay Mickey Mouse in a way, but one that looks somewhat creepy. So already you could start to see some red flags there if you get DM from someone like that. But they send you DMs, and they basically say, want to play a game, which to me is the equivalent of Pennywise the dancing clown, looking up at Georgie from the drain pipe. But not Pennywise, Tim Curry Pennywise, that actually looks somewhat appealing at first, and a funny clown. No, I mean Bill Skarsgård Pennywise, the one that is very creepy and no kid in their right mind would go near that thing. But yeah, Georgie does as well, and he gets his arm bitten off. Spoilers. Everyone knows that scene. So yeah, imagine that situation where you just have someone in your DMs going, "Hiya, Georgie." That was a really bad impression. But no, they want to play a game, and apparently they threaten you if you don't. The idea is that they collect your information. That's what their goal is. They collect your information like IP address, contacts based on what you post and such, and they threaten to expose it. That's already loophole number one, but I will get to that in a second. Because they threaten to expose you for those kind of things, and basically, but then they have you join a link. And then the link takes you to a place where you have challenges for 50 days, which escalate up to things like cutting yourself, carving a blue whale into your arm. Eventually, they get to carving a blue whale in your stomach, or jumping off a bridge, which was the step 50, which is when people take their life. Supposedly. Now that sounds terrifying. Don't get me wrong. And if you fall into that trap, frankly it is. But there's an easy way not to do it. And here we go. So first of all, that link that you click, then, and only then, is when they get access to your private information. So any threats that come before that are completely empty. And of course, they're just looking for random people. They're not gonna linger by and wait, oh yeah, I need this one person, this one specific Gacha tuber in a sea of, hundreds of thousands of others, or however many Gacha tubers there are. There's plenty of us going around. So, and even if it's not a Gacha tuber thing, I think it's just because I've seen it mostly in Gacha servers. If you're not a Gacha tuber, you might be at risk as well, but again, they won't wait around for you. Not only that, but also, people can say, oh yeah, well, they'll threaten to expose my information they're based on what I post. Well, thing is, surprise, surprise, but anything that you've posted is already exposed. Yeah. They threaten to make public the things that you yourself have made public. So, yeah, other than IPs, which again, they don't have access to until you click their link, nothing is going to happen. So that's already a way to avoid that. So yeah, just don't click their link. I mean, if they ask you to play a game with them, just say, no thanks. If they threaten you, then you consider that to be quite an empty thing. I mean, I won't get you wrong, there was a friend of mine who before the Blue Whale Challenge did have someone expose part of their information, or it seemed like they pretended to know her in the past. They somewhat remembered her. That was completely irrelevant. Yes, there are hackers out there that can expose your IP. In fact, if you remember, there was a while back, when I was still in Liverpool, there was an issue with my community server, which has since been left to die. There was an issue there where what was I going to say? No, I've lost it. It's gone. Completely gone. Completely forgot. Oh yeah. No, yeah, there was an issue there where an IP address got leaked. And it was posted all over the place. People were spamming it. All of the mods had to enter an action all at once to delete it from every single conceivable chat. And eventually that did happen. In fact, most of it was actually before I ended up showing up. So it got cleared up before I even got back home from university. So yeah, that kind of thing can happen. The person whose IP got exposed is okay. Nothing happened. It was just a prank by some really, really foul taste people. So, yeah. But that kind of thing can happen, but it's unlikely to happen from a Blue Whale Challenge person. And the reason is, if they're the hackers that require you to use a link to get your information, they're not very good hackers. So chances are they won't be able to get that information elsewhere. Some people might in the future, but not the Blue Whale Challenge folk. This is also to say that again, if people are doing the Blue Whale Challenge are going to expose your IP, what are they going to do with it? I know that leaves you open to being located and attacked or whatever, but who's going to attack you? Do they have a team that is lying about waiting to kill off everyone else that's available? No. Much like Linus said in Sharkboy and Lava Girl, fear exists in the one place you cannot escape: your mind. It's all psychology. They're trying to get into your head so that you will do what they say. That's their only weapon. They have no others. Otherwise, they would not be part of this in the first place, and they would actually go after people in a much more logical way. In a way, I'm saying that the hackers are both smart and stupid. Mostly stupid, though, obviously. Anyone who would try and expose the IP of someone like that is bound to be a bit slow on the uptake, or especially sick in the head. So, I know that people have been saying that this year's challenge is a hoax. They're saying that people have taken screenshots from the 2016 Blue Whale Challenge, which apparently was real. I will say that this kind of thing happened also with Pridefall. That people started using that because it happened last year apparently, as a way to threaten people in the LGBTQ plus community that, again, were on Discord and vulnerable. I don't know if it was just on Discord. It was a 4chan post that people found. But I didn't see anything happen. Maybe something did. I'm just hearing about it retroactively, but I don't remember a single case of Pridefall that went around. It was just a massive thing for fear. But the thing is, I'm sure that there are some people out there who, even if it was a hoax originally, did actually try and do this. Did actually take part in the Blue Whale Challenge and did actually threaten some people. But they're not the majority, but I'm sure they were still out there. So even if it was originally a hoax, some people probably are dumb enough to actually do it. So still be on guard, of course. Bear in mind also that the Mickey Mouse profiles, clearly these people aren't disguising themselves in any way. They're not doing what most serial killers do and put on a friendly facade to gain a person's trust and then isolate them completely. No, they're just skipping the middleman altogether. So, yeah, that's another reason why you're unlikely to be vulnerable, or as vulnerable as you think you are. So with all that in mind, you don't have to turn off DMs, because people have done that and it just isolates you, and that's kind of what they want. I mean, obviously it doesn't kill you, but it isolates you, so it's part of what they want. So, in a way, that's almost giving people the power before they've actually done anything. It's like they win the battle before they've even actually made the first move. So, again, you can do that. You can disable DMs if you want, but for crying out loud, if people go around and find you in random servers, that's all they do. People can DM anyone from random servers unless they disable DMs. It's not like that's a Blue Whale exclusive. Also, it's worth mentioning that it was worth mentioning something, but again I've forgotten. Yeah, so nope. gone. The thought is gone. Something about it was Blue Whale, about them disabling DMs. Oh yes, you don't have to disable DMs because that's giving them a victory. What you should do is be aware, if you get a DM, do nothing, or just say no. It's like when, you remember those YouTube bots that commented on my videos back in April and May time, or sometimes now they do it now. Even when the video itself hadn't premiered, they automatically type something like, let's be friends, or great video, or something like that. Very generic stuff. And they're repeated, so it's not even the same bot all the time, it's the same username. They're very easily made. So essentially, those bots work that they get your information if you subscribe to them. So they can comment on your videos and nothing will happen. You can then visit their channel and nothing will happen. Only after you subscribe to them are you giving them a leeway, because actually, guess what? The subscribe button is a link. What a shock. So yes, that way, links can be tricked. So the idea is, say no to playing games and don't click links. Easy. The worst part is that the Blue Whale challenge isn't even subtle. They don't just escalate it over time. They actually make it so that all of the steps are completely available all at once. I've seen a screenshot with all of the steps lined out all at once. So you get to see the end result before you're even that involved in the game. So they're not even trying, people. So yeah, this whole Blue Whale challenge thing, rest assured, if you have at least some common sense, then you'll be fine. I've had people say to me that they're worried about this, but I'm dumb. I'm not smart enough to deal with this. Well, the thing is, already, by acknowledging that you have to be smart to do it, to avoid certain scenarios, means that you know what you have to do to avoid it. Therefore, you are smart, and you are actually making sure that you're safe. I mean, it's weird that some people that are exceptionally vulnerable will be aware that they're easily manipulated and can't do anything about it. That's actually very tragic and something that really, really should be addressed. If anyone is like that, then please take it from me. You shouldn't put yourself in that situation. If you know you're being manipulated, don't let yourself fall into that trap. Self-awareness is very important. So, and also, don't worry about posting stuff on social media or deleting your old posts, unless you have something that was, exposes your address or something like that. A weird thing to do, but it can happen. But usually, if you have stuff online already, then that implies that you're okay with it, with sharing whatever it is with the world, like I said before. That's not always the case, but again, online safety videos abound, and all these courses that tell you how to stay safe if you feel like you might be easily attacked. That's partly how I started. Remember that, the first 2.5 years that I was on YouTube for, I never showed my face, and obviously Jacob Butter isn't my real name, so even then, to this day, very few people know my full name, and it's only those that I trust as my friends that I reveal it to. Even my first name. People like Leon Tarkshina as well, he's even more careful. Every video where someone says his real name, he makes sure they remove it from the footage. I've been victim of that myself. And for Toshi Melling as well, that was the reason his video got taken down, because he said his name is blank, #exposed. So it's not, it's that's the way that goes. So yeah, there are ways to take precautions, and it was only when I was hesitant to show my face when I got requested to. It was Sophie originally that actually told me that I should show my face on my videos, and for the life of me, I am glad that I did, because again, the whole thing, if I'd done that before, then things like Walking Wednesday could never happen, even though I hadn't thought that the idea at the time. Because yeah, Walking Wednesday obviously relies on me being super honest and super open. I like being honest and open online. I don't have much to hide at all, if anything. Nothing springs to mind right now. So I don't mind, well, I mean, obviously address and stuff, you know, IP, all the stuff I've been talking about. But yeah, I've been told that this kind of thing, like Walking Wednesday, is really good because it's so honest. And, you know, it's refreshing when in the age of cancel culture where people are exposed for being fake or whatever, you know, whatever secrets you have will sometimes come back to bite you. In that regard, here I am, bearing my soul. And also I like talking to the camera. Again, it's almost like our channel really does benefit from a human face, I think. Maybe some gaming videos with face cam don't as much, because some people have really good voice and charisma that can carry that on regardless. But yeah, it depends on whatever you want to do. It can sometimes benefit, sometimes hinder. Like Skyler's Everything, for example, I preferred him without the face cam, partly because his voice was just so commanding anyway. Something I noticed from watching Sonic Heroes, where this is a Game Grumps video, where Aaron talks about the way that his video essay Sequelitis was revolutionary. Partly, well, I say he didn't say revolutionary, but people have said that. But because he had such charisma in his voice, because again, you know, voice acting, as he said, you know, voice acting. It's very important to have that. You can't just say words into a microphone and expect it to sound convincing. And partly the way I can kind of see that, because there are some performances that I've done in the past, especially on YouTube, that are quite dreadful. And looking back, I can see now why they never took off. Like at the time I was thinking, what is wrong with this video? Why is no one watching? Why did it get 2 views or something at the time? And now I know, because they were awful. What a shock. Who would have thought that someone's videos would be terrible when they start out? But yeah, so sometimes voice and charisma are great, but a human face in other scenarios works very well. And Walking Wednesday is something that I think will stay, regardless of whether my branding turns out to be, because it's just such a refreshing change. I mean, different people tune into this than will tune into everything else. But yeah, I guess rolling back to the dead horses scenario, I think some of the things in this channel are definitely going to have to come to an end. You know, the 2010s were very, very messy for me, but now I hope to actually rectify that. So yeah, that's a nice way of finishing that. It came full circle. I won't mess it up anymore. Just, you know, beware of the Blue World Challenge. Have some common sense. Self-awareness is important. You can have a human face and a very honest profile and not be exposed, because you've already done it most of yourself. So that's it. Those are my tips for the day. For anyone else. And also expect more greatness in the future, as well as a bunch of rubbish from years gone by. On that note, please leave a like or dislike, because your opinion matters. And on that note, until next time, farewell.